They'll be calling you a radical, so I want to get a video up before I get on the airplane, head to Europe, and give you my plans over there as the anti-nuclear activist, so as the avant-garde, as the artist. So first off, the Columbia Steelhead catastrophe, the canary, oh, it died in the canyon at Hanford. So this is a catastrophe. So the steelhead who go to sea for 1 to 2 years have just epically off a cliff collapse. So yesterday is the prime day. The 10-year mean, the day is August 13th is the peak day. So the 10-year mean for the day on the Bonneville. The Bonneville's the big, that's where more fish run up there than anywhere. So we'll talk about the Willamette, we'll talk about the Rogue, we'll talk about the Deschutes, we'll talk about the Copper, we'll talk about but this is the big one. So the 10-year mean for the day of August 13th is 7,830. 7,800 for the day. August 13th, that's peak day. Last year started a catastrophe, 2016. As I said, it's going to take that long. Fukushima is going to, the eco chain's going to break. You can look it up. You can play back the tape, Your Honor. Thousands of times. 2016, they're going to start to crash. Record numbers in 2014, 2015, because they had record escapement. They had record escapement. They were expecting record returns in 2016. All-time records. How's that possible that they just crashed? So the last year number, 2,498. 10-year mean, 7,800 and change. Just slightly under 2,500. So August 13th, 2017, which was forecasted 2 years ago to be over, this day was forecasted to be over 10,000. 737. You heard me right, 737. They're just late, bro. Yeah, okay. All right, just like your spring Chinook, just like last year's catastrophe. Oh, they're late from last year. Okay. So, now remember, this is record escapement, record escapement, record escapement. This is not just wild steelhead. This is wild and hatchery steelhead combination. Willamette, of course, that steelhead run's been over for a while. The Willamette 10-year mean for the season, steelhead is 35,000. They came in at 2,638 or 25,600-ish right there. The Deschutes, I get a report, there's 6. You hear me right, 6. The Rogue, I hear, is less than 300. You know, this is people that are up there reporting off boots on the fucking ground, fishermen, lifetime long fishermen. Copper River, they won't differentiate in their reports between kings and sockeye. Of course not. You know how much Copper River go for? I mean, what a scam. So the T-Tay Club, let's talk about the Copper real quick. It's over. That run's done on the kings. So the kings and the sockeye together was forecasted 2 years ago at over 2 million. They came in last year, they were forecasted at 1.7 million. So in 2015, record escapement, the forecast on the Copper River for 2016 was 1.7 million. Or yeah, for 2017 it was 2.1 million based on record escapement. Big numbers. 2013, 2014, record numbers. Came in at 800,000. Now remember, that was a forecast of 1.7 million. That's less than half. This year, the 2015 forecast for 2017 on the Copper River was 2.1 million. Came in at 780,000. Nothing to see here. So we keep walking down. So we get in Bristol Bay. They have this massive run on the, they say it was just basically 2 days on the New Shack. They had sockeye runs basically 2 days. The Chinook came in at 25% of the 10-year mean. Less than half of last year's catastrophe. Doesn't see. I'll tell you, okay, if you don't believe me, call up Alaska and say, why did you, after 3 days, it was open. The Kings and Chinook are the same thing. They go to sea for 5, 6, some of them go up to 8 years. That's why this is so important on the Chinook crashing. Now the Chinook big run on the Bonneville, the spring run was catastrophe. Started out late, they basically got 2 freaking days, which I don't believe those 2 days. I think they're lying, by the way. Because that's right when they filed for emergency dough from the feds. Then I'll talk about Savannah River and the emergency dough from the feds. So they declared a catastrophe. They file for federal aid, both senators in Oregon, both senators in California. I understand both senators in Washington have joined in now also. Yet federal disasters, the state is required a disaster, yet come fishing. They want it both ways. Mitchell Act on Balco. So the Bonneville has live cams we can watch, right? For a very good reason. The Army Corps of Engineers may be one of the most corrupt organizations in the history of mankind, the Army Corps of Engineers. The live cams have been out 3 years. I've been calling them. I sent them emails. I says, hey, I found a GoPro, an underwater GoPro for 140 bucks. Directly will go to a Wi-Fi. YouTube says they can handle up to 10 million views a fucking day. 10 million a day. You're not gonna get that many. I'll come hook it up for you. You know, rent me a scuba suit. I'll fucking, this is one of my suggestions. I can handle it. I've been telling them that for 2 fucking years, 3 years. Still out. So I don't believe them on that. I mean, it's so far out of the mean, the one number, but still, even if you believe their lie, their spring number on the Chinook was forecasted at 320,000. After the fact, they lowered that projection number to 169,000. They came in at 104,000. So the fall number's getting rid of the big one. So remember last year, they came in at 40% of their projection. Now remember, these projections are important because it's based on escapement. A lot of work's been cleaned up in freaking Oregon and Washington, Alaska. A lot of the blasters freaking blowing up the trees, cleaned up. The turbines eating up the smolts, cleaned up. So much of it cleaned up. Tons and tons of money dumped into the hatcheries. The Native American, there's a slur. I hate that term, Native American. I mean, America das Poochie. That's where he's from. The indigenous people, who I think they dump tons of money, of course, casino money. We know how that's gone. And if you don't believe the natives and the indigenous people are the same hierarchy, freaking corruption that us white boys are, you know nothing. Look at Standing Rock. What a freaking shakedown. I mean, sold out their own people again. You know, that isn't that what we do? Black, white, brown, freaking green, yellow, freaking here. And when are you going to wake up, all you racists in the country? I don't think these fucking corporate oligarchs and these fucking multinationals give a fuck what color you are. Give a fuck what your sexual orientation. They just want to exploit you, fucking divide and conquer, so you're fucking feeding right out into their fucking hands. I mean, it's outrageous. So, the catastrophe is on. Now remember, this isn't like this. Oh, it's been going on, but that's a lie, that's a lie. This sign is green, fucking fishing's great. This sign is green, fishing's great. It's been, no it's not. This has not been happening. Record numbers in 2014, 15, on all these fisheries. Not record escapement, record returns and record escapement. Forecasted record returns. So any statistical probability professor, anybody, I've plugged it in. I've run regression millions and millions and millions of times. So that's the reason that, I mean, you think about this. Is it really possible that hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands of scientists, everyone they interview, fucking academia, NOAA, fucking everyone they go to fucking thousands. I mean, this is statistically impossible. Statistically impossible. Every single one of them says they're mystified, they're stumped, they're baffled, they're fucking puzzled. They're mystified, they're baffled, they're fucking puzzled. They're stumped. Every last single fucking one of them. That's impossible statistically. And I'll get some statistical probability in Italy too. So, that's impossible. But that's what every single one of them says. Why? Because they're using computer models, they're using whatever, they're using old information that, you know, it doesn't make sense to them. Of course not. This blows completely because they're not plugging in Fukushima, because this is new. Plutonium, you can't even measure this. This gas is coming off, that's creating this catastrophe. It's like we don't even get any clear fucking skies here anymore. Utah used to be just grand, I mean, crystal blue freaking sky. Just a few years ago, we never, because, and it's forest fires. It's dust. I mean, it's a dry, fuck The heat off Fukushima has pushed this jet stream so fucking high. Fucking oil, I mean, it's a catastrophe that it's the ecosystem. It's connected, mystified. You run regression. It blows, it deviates from the mean thousands of times. It blows up your regression. The computer will start flashing. That's what's happening to NOAA's regression. That's what's happening to the University of Washington, University of Oregon, freaking all these scientists, you know, Victoria, freaking Alaska. They don't know how to, I mean, you think any of them predicted that all the MERS wash up dead at once? Oh, I did. Because the little fish disappeared, big fish eat little fish. I predicted all this in the logic of Cassandra and Hamlet had a fucking baby. Oh, curse, it's spite that I was ever born to fucking set this right. And I will say this to the marine biologists, to the fucking nuclear industry, to the nuclear crime syndicate. You know, this is going to get us all. I've got some rue for you, some plutonium and rue, and fructonium for you. And I've got some for me. But you must wear your first with a fucking difference. Oh, cursed spite that I was ever born to set this fucking right on fucking chemo on Balco. I mean, you derelicts have just gone along and you can't make sense of this crash. How could this possibly happen on record? How could this be so acute? How can this, that's statistically impossible unless one thing. There's only one thing that makes this not statistically impossible. That makes this very real. Number one, every single one of you is lying verbatim, which I find that to be statistically. They're not all scumbags, just, I guess, lazy, and I don't believe that to be true. I believe most lazy, peer review, but I believe that it's simply because you cannot wrap your mind around this energy that Fukushima's released, which I've named Fructonium, which Livermore's proved what I named it. You're not plugging that in. That would explain the thousands. That would explain all this as far every single scientist, NOAA, freaking all of them are mystified, they're stumped, they're puzzled. Look it up, by the thousands, worldwide. That would fucking, I mean, there's your answer right there. They're not plugging this in. So the acute collapse, they can't make heads of it. It blows up their fucking computer models. It blows up the fucking past. It fucking blows up the present. It blows up the fucking future because it's new. It's never happened before. Fuck, multiple meltdowns, dumping water on it. So to South Carolina. So Lindsey Graham, a hairspade masquerade freaking, who claims, you know, free market fairy tales were against, I mean, don't you love this fucking radical right and this fucking hypocrite left? The radical right, free market fairy tales, free market fairy tales, free market terror. We're capitalists, they're the biggest welfare queens. So anytime anything gets going tough, they run right to the taxpayer again. I want to say this to the taxpayer in South Carolina. Why is Lindsey Graham not going after Westinghouse? Why is Lindsey Graham not going after Chicago Bridge and Iron after fucking I.a.e.a. in France? Why is he not going after the fucking international fucking I.a.e.a? I'll be there in Vienna. If MN says they're going to show up with me, this should be, I mean, it should be good. I mean, hopefully I'm going to get to Kiev too. I think I got a chance to go to Kiev. I've been invited. So, Lindsey Graham has put up a new bill, and he's crying, of course. The House has snuck through a bill to rescue the nuclear industry. It's kind of, sort of, fucking one of those bills. The Senate has passed. He's going crazy now. It's outrageous. We need more. So every time that, you know, these free market fairy tales, you know, anytime they, so they don't represent the taxpayer, because who's Lindsey Graham going to again? You, the taxpayer. Don't you think in South Carolina you don't pay federal taxes? They looted you to the state level. Now they want, and the federal level. They looted the whole country. So he's running right to the fucking welfare trough because he's the welfare queen. That's who he is. That's what they do. The nuclear fucking crime syndicate, the biggest welfare queens in it. So, you know, they say they're supporting the taxpayer. They work for the taxpayer. These senators, these congressmen, they don't work for the taxpayer. Because who do they run to bail out Westinghouse and Chicago Bridge? The taxpayer. He's begging. He's got hand in hand. Please, please, you taxpayers, freaking give more to these criminal enterprise called the Nuclear Crime Syndicate to Italy. Again, the statistical probability. And the Italians are so incredible as far as the anti. Now remember, they had 5 nuclear reactors. They shut them down. They've been trying to bring the waste here. You know, I've been battling them. I caught them right hand. So the president decides they're going to put them here again. Goes out and they're like, oh, want to bet? So they put it to a vote. This is almost statistically impossible. And nothing in this world can statistically probability go to 94-6. Oh, nuclear energy bringing it back. 94% in Italy against. Now this is a fact, you can look it up. The mob, which is Chicago Bridge and Iron, General Electric, their freaking syndicate, moves back into Italy. Says, oh, we're going to refire up. We want to. They got a president bought off, and they got him on the hook. But like my son-in-law always says, he says, my new son-in-law, who my daughter is married, freaking the two designers that got together. I mean, getting married in Italy. That's why I'm going. So he says, well, we have something that checks the politicians here called the mob. He says, oh, they still run the show. So the mob, this crooked president, says, well, they go right over to one of them's house. They kneecapped. Do you know what kneecap means? Gun behind the knee. Boom! Blew his knees out. Right there. Witnesses. Says, we'll give you 24 hours for the rest of you GE, Chicago Bridge, or Riva scumbags. Get the fuck out. Oh, they got the fuck out. Put it to vote, 94%. Switzerland's doing it right there. You know, I've been in Switzerland on, you know, those reactors is catastrophe. You know, the reactors in Prague. Now, this is how desperate. Of course, they had the high school girl bikini contest in one of their nuclear reactors. So now in China, they're giving free freaking wedding photos to get your wedding photos in the reactors. Paying people to show up. This is how desperate they've become. So I landed in Milan early on the 17th that morning. Early on the 17th in Milan. 17-8. So I don't have any plans. I mean, I've learned how to travel when this whole gig of mine, that's the way I like to do it. I land there and I don't book rooms, I don't do anything till I get there, whatever. And take my chances, well, we'll see. You know, because there's other activists. And I'm hoping, you know, I mean, Milan's a perfect location. Because I plan on being in Germany. I'm going to go to Munich. I plan, of course, Vienna, you know, for the I.a.e.a, the 2-year international conference for these scumbag rats who have orchestrated this cover-up of Fukushima. They have to be there, and I have permission to protest. I'm the only guy ever. I have the blanch box there in front. So I'm going to be in Vienna for sure in September. Protest, I'm just going to hold my say, you killed Pacific Ocean, you know, and I'll do what I did. Femen says they're going to show up. Now, I've been invited to Kiev. Now, you couldn't get in there before, but I can now. I've got my, you know, before they denied my visa, but they've approved it now, and they say you got it, so I'm hoping to get to go to Kiev and meet up with some of the great anti-nuclear activists killed by peaceful nuclear energy. They're so fantastic. I mean, some of the best in the world. You know, Spain, some of the best in the world. Freaking, what's going on in Belgium? You know, hopefully, man, you can get the Anthro. You know, how good are they? The old reactor, they showed up and had an event this year right now to shut it down. 500,000 people formed a human chain. See, it's different over there. Because they'll say, you just haven't had enough pain. You haven't went through enough. We went through so much pain. You just haven't got there. You're too young on the nuclearism. It's contemporized over there. You talk nuclear energy, and they're like, oh, those looting, scumbag, thieving, they'll talk analogy, freaking no way. I mean, they know. Everybody knows over there. Not here. Not here in Ferry. I mean, we'll race bait. We'll freaking religious bait here. They can play the lowest common denominator card on these feeding ghosts. It's very fucking sad. It's very sad that we have to fucking visit these fucking horrific fucking racist fucking issues, these horrific religious fucking biases, these horrific fucking things over and over and over because it's ignorant America. You know, instead of taking on issues that matter like your environment, like, I mean, the Fukushima food doesn't go anywhere in the world except here. Here, and everybody says, oh, Hillary, of course, but Trump's all for it, he beats it, but he's on. It's the same. When are you going to realize these are the same teams? You keep dividing them up, but you're on the same team. I don't care how racist you are. I don't care how bad you hate one side or that. It don't matter. Because nuclear fallout in the environment doesn't give a shit about your hate. It is an equal opportunity. It's the great, it'll kill you all. You know, this is the great equalizer. Race, religion, wealth, freaking don't give a fuck. I'm here to tell you. My chest split open. I'm very excited to be over there. Holy Moses. So I'm going to get to Florence. I have to be in... I don't know the geography in southern Italy, but apparently I'm going to take a plane, a train, fucking a ferry. I think I got to ride a horse and fucking swim the last 2 miles, I told my daughter. An island off an island she's getting married. So I got to get to Salina, then I got to get to Catena, and then I got to get, no, from Sicily to Catena to Salina Island. I says, let's make this a little more complicated, you know. Fly, train, bus, ferry, swim. I'll ride a horse the last few miles. So I don't have to be there till September, or the 28th. I've got to be at Salina Island. So I'm free till then. You know, so any activist, anybody has any ideas, you want to meet up, you know, show me some things, whatever, I'm good. You know, I even want to get to Amsterdam. I love the Netherlands, by the way. I've been there before. and a lot of places I love over there. And, you know, and the anti-nuclear movement, I mean, they're fantastic. You know, so I'm very excited. Thank you to people that have supported this activism. You know, I sold my big poster. My big poster, anonymous donor, bought it for $3,300. You know, thank you to everybody. And, you know, believe it or not, I got a nice donation from the board at the New York City Metropolitan Ballet. One of their board members sent me a fucking donation. So, you know, there's some people that believe in me, you know, and I know last time I was in Austria, it was so fantastic. You know, people came from all over, and I'm very excited for this trip, you know, because, you know, it's one thing to dogma spin, to eat thing, but you have to do the work. I mean, my big thing is I like to walk. I'll stay someplace cheap, whatever. I just need a bed to sleep in at night, because anybody who's been with me knows I'm up early, come home late. I just need a place to sleep, and that's all, you know, and because I go. And now my heart's fixed, you know, I can go. I can go. I'm so excited because I know how that food is over there. Oh my God, it's so fucking good. Brava, brava, magnifico. Oh, I can't wait. I've been practicing my fucking dancing for the wedding, you know, so I can't wait for